10 laps and let us know how it's going so we can make proper adjustments this first time.
10-4. Just talk.
Then it'll run real tight for a couple laps, and then it'll do okay. It's weird.
So I can't even see straight. I'm so sideways.
Drop it. 38.
We're going to be the leader, buddy.
10-4. God, we got lucky on that one. Good work.
Boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
NASCAR, one of Uncle Sam's premier sports that over 60 years has evolved into the world's biggest, most successful kind of sedan-based motor racing. There is nothing quite like it. The speed, the spectacle, and the intensity of the competition. The stars NASCAR has created are a unique breed. Most are hardcore racers who remain true to their speedway roots. It's an exclusive club where membership is earned and prior achievements mean almost nothing. Some Australians have tried to break in over the years, like the legendary Dick Johnson and Alan Grice, but none have made the same impression as Marcus Ambrose.
Marcus Ambrose goes to victory lane for the first time in his career at Watkins Glen.
Man, it just feels so good to get that off my back. You know, I've come so far for this, and I've never won in America. It just feels so good.
I was really lucky with my family and my dad in particular, who helped me buy a couple of race cars and helped run them in Australia, and we finished runner-up to Garth Tander in the '97 championship. And my father actually was a part founder of Van Diemen, the car manufacturer based in England, back when he was racing in the early '70s. And so he renewed some old friends and some ties and got us a chance to get over there. And I just went across just to do 12 months, just to race, to see how far and how good I was, and whether I could learn, you know, whether I could actually cut it. And so we went across there, and I just took it race by race and didn't really expect to last more than half a year or 6 months, and just kept going, you know. And we had some tough times over there. I made some bad choices on who I drove for. I made some bad choices on what I needed to focus on. But, you know, all said and done, I got through a European stint of about 4 years, learned an awful lot, and came home and was able to apply what I'd learned. It was really my university degree, but there was no master plan, there was no vision. You know, I was racing against guys like Danny Weldon and Jensen Button, who had management companies behind them, they had financiers behind them. You know, they were all set, they were getting paid, they were in the gym, you know, locked in, they had cars given to them, they had everything planned out 3, 4, 5 years in advance. And so I didn't have that, but I saw how it was done and really learnt off them how you should really approach it. Every race, every day was tough in Europe. It was where I really learnt, you know, the craft of racing and living as a race driver, and knowing how to put together your deals, how to present yourself in front of the camera, how to race against the very best in the world and stand up against them, and it was intimidating. Halfway through 2000, I said to Sonia, when we were over there in France living in a small unit, I said, that's it, I've had enough. We're not going to do it doing it this way. Let's change tack and come home.
Ford breaks through at the creek, and Marcus Ambrose does it in round 3.
We always knew that he was very professional, because over the years he'd talked to us, and when he was in Europe he kept in touch and that sort of thing. The first thing that when we really started talking seriously was he'd made the commitment to V8 supercars. He'd shut the door on the Formula One dream, and that was important to us, and I think it was important to him.
The single-seater racing was good, especially like at Formula 3. I'm not sure it really suited my style. You know, I came back into Australian V8 supercar and it clicked. You know, I'm used to, you know, driving around on country Tasmanian roads and, you know, dirt and heavy cars rolling around and not handling that well, and sort of V8 supercar really fitted that mould. You know, once I got used to the power and I get used to the stopping power of a V8 supercar, which are both very impressive, the rest was very natural. And I've learned, I've worked on my own race cars, I've driven for teams that are start-up teams that needed that extra bit of driver feedback or control to help gel the team together. And so I'm used to really understanding setups and knowing what I want from a car. I might not know what I need to change on the race car to get the feeling I need, but I know the feeling that I need in the race car. And I've always had that very early on in whatever car I've driven.
It's a drag race. Ambrose moves over on him. Scaife may just have enough. No, he doesn't. They touch. Oh, they touch big time.
We're running into our 5th year with the Stones. You know, you got to keep things fresh. What were we going to do? Were we going to make a change, go somewhere else and probably not go as well? Was I getting frustrated with the sport? I felt a bit closed in. Yes, I was. I was getting picked on a little bit. You know, people were getting the wrong impression of what I was all about. So, you know, forget the stature of being the champion. Forget about, you know, the paychecks coming in the door. For me, it's not about that. And so I was looking for a change. I don't know, with decisions like that in the racetrack, I get a stop-go penalty and then get knocked off in the first corner, I'm almost pleased I'm leaving the series because, you know, we're not going to lose this championship. We're going to get it taken away from us.
Ambrose has had a massive shunt. Ambrose has had a massive shunt. So Greg Murphy's involved. More cars. The track is jammed. The track is jammed. And watch this. Look at these guys. It's on. Murphy and Ambrose. These two do not like each other, and they are going to have some serious words.
If he had carried on in V8 racing, he would have probably needed to have a year off, I think. And so he either needed to do that or have a break. But once he was still under contract when he talked about going, and we released him. And it was no use us driving here for us under contract if his heart or his soul was in NASCAR racing and in the next step in his career. The ride had been good for him and it had been good for us. So it was really easy to support him to make that move.
You know, there were consequences. Obviously, you know, a lot of Australian fans were disappointed. The series was pretty miffed at the time. You know, champion saying that he was going to leave the sport, whatever. But, you know, for me, my choice, my family's choice, I think it was the smart one and the right one, and it's paying off. You know, I think now I'm probably a better driver now than what I was in 2005. So, you know, I've got a few years of good racing left, and I just wanted to make every season a memorable one, and I don't want to have any regrets. So, you know, when things, they weren't pear-shaped down there, but, you know, I was getting a bit boxed in, a bit frustrated, so I thought, well, I'll make a switch and come across here and treat it like a holiday. Just get away from Australia again for a while, try something new, try a different form of racing. And I honestly expected it to last 6 months. You know, I'll come across here, test a few cars, do a few races and go home. But I haven't gone home yet. You know, I've just kept progressing and kept moving forward, and it's been a great story.